Alright guys, I think it's about time that I give you an update. So, I haven't made a video in a couple weeks because I was really trying to get ready for the Grassroots Motorsports Challenge. As I mentioned in the last video, things kind of got crazy at the end. Had some last minute repairs we had to do, but we made it down to the event. So, we took my Studebaker and we took my dad's Sunbird. I guess I'll show that one to you. You guys haven't seen that yet. So this is my dad's Sunbird. It is turbo LS powered. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about how the event went and whatnot. So my dad and I are not autocrossers by any stretch of the word. So we sort of set our cars up for drag racing and you know, just stick with what we're good at. And so both cars kind of finished mid-pack. One particularly interesting thing about this year was they invited Big Daddy Don Garlitz to attend the event, and he showed up with a Hellcat. So here's the underhood of the Sunbird. So 78, 75 turbo, and you know, the works. So yeah, he showed up with a Hellcat Challenger that had been upgraded, making about 1,000 horsepower, and I think he kind of underestimated us, or I don't know, I don't think he really had any involvement with the build or anything like that. I think they just wrote him a check and he wrote his name on the car. So yeah, so the people who built the car kind of, I think they underestimated us as a group of racers, and we could tell right away because the car rolled up with autocross tires on it. For those of you that don't know, autocross tires don't really work very well in drag racing. So it was pretty cool. He I think it was the owner of the car. He did a big burnout, staged the car. You know, at this point I'm getting ready to make my pass. I'm all ready to go, and of course they're going to have the special guest make the first pass. So he stages the car, launches, goes about half track, and stops, and then backs up. And then stages, launches again, goes about half track, backs up. Does that about 5 or 6 times. So, you know, it's whatever. You know, you know, at that point I wasn't allowed to make my pass, you know, whatever. So he finally makes a full pass, goes like a 10-2-4 or something like that, and which is a decent pass for such a heavy car, but I think they can do that from the factory. But anyways, at that point I started getting ready, getting my fire suit the rest of the way on, hopping in the car, strapping in, getting ready to go, and the track official pulled me forward. I'm all ready to go, and then the Challenger comes back around, and he makes another pass, and you could tell he wasn't happy with his first one, so he kind of did the same thing. He staged the car, went down about halfway, stopped, back up, do it again, over and over, and did that about 5 or 6 times. And at this point I'm like, okay, I guess that's, you know, whatever. And so the Challenger ripped off another 10-2 something finally they called me up, and I did my burnout. Dad put me in the groove, and the trailer door just closed. Put me in the groove, and this was, I was pretty nervous, so I had not driven the car. The few times I've driven this car, it normally hasn't gone straight, and just before the event we found something very, very wrong, and we fixed it, but I was still a little nervous to make a pass, because, you know, most of the times I've driven this car, it's had difficulty going straight. So I was real nervous, but staged the car, put it up on the two-step, which I need to make a video on my two-step. It's really neat. You guys will probably dig it. So yeah, put it up on the two-step, and then let go of the button. Car went nice and straight, went the whole way through. I had a real safe tune in it, and it was a great pass. I could tell right away, like as soon as I went through the traps, I'm like, yep, that was a 9-second pass. And coasted down, got my time slip, sure enough, 990. So that was that was pretty cool, to have a big name in drag racing come to your event, and his car makes probably about double what ours does. Yeah, ours weighs less. Yeah, we got drag slicks, but you know, he rips off a 10.2, the entire 10.2 right off the bat, which the car should be capable of way more, and then we go up there and show him how it's done. So yeah, that was really neat. So he wasn't able to get into the 9s at all the rest of the night, and we got down to a 984 at 139. So we were hoping to do a little better than that at the event, but we had a last-minute thrash with this car, and we didn't have any test time with the current configuration. I basically had to retune the entire thing at the event. So yeah, I mean, considering, you know, all the headaches and stuff that we had to deal with, I'm pretty happy with the results. So then I hopped in my Studebaker, and I made a couple of passes with that. I'll of course include video. And I got down to a 1092 at 121. Yeah, my one pass, I turned up the boost controller a little too much, and I actually hit boost cut. But unfortunately, during my fastest pass where I didn't hit boost cut, my data logging failed, so I don't know what boost it went to. It would have been interesting to know, just because, you know, it would be nice to know that information so I can, you know, base information off of it. But the car goes to the 8th mile really hard, and then the quarter mile just kind of, it's just kind of maintaining the speed that it gained. I mean, yeah, it's accelerating, but it's not accelerating like it should, or like any other car I've driven, especially a turbo car. So somebody mentioned the VVT again, of course, in one of my video posts on my Facebook, and you know, they might be onto something. So since I wasn't able to get the VVT to work with the gold box, what I might try to do is get it to work with a micro squirt, but do it in a more open loop, like basically just send a pulse width to the VVT actuator when a certain RPM, when it's above a certain RPM. More of a completely just like on off, all right, give it this angle, go kind of method. And it shouldn't mess up the computer because it shouldn't need the cam sensor because it's not sequential ignition. So we might try that at some point. But anyways, going back to the event. My gosh, tangents. All right, so yeah, I guess I'll just show you guys some of the workmanship on this car. Me and my dad built this. It's a aluminum block with a 4/8 rotating assembly, and it's a truck intake, you know, breather tank, 7875, 3.5 inch downpipe, little tiny wastegate, which should probably be bigger, nice big intercooler, 8.8 in the back, you know, your typical sloppy mechanic stuff. So then there was the judging portion of the event, and this car came in 6th or 7th in the Concours, and my Studebaker came in 4th. So I was pretty thrilled with that. There was a lot of really cool cars there. It would have been cool to be on the podium, but hey, you know, there was a lot of really well done cars there. So it was definitely a refreshing experience, because I've been going to events since I was 10, and lately the events, yeah, they've been good, but they haven't been great. And this event was great. It reminded me of the early years of the event, and it was really a lot of fun. A lot of old faces returned to the event, given it was the 20th year anniversary, and that was really cool. Good to see their faces, and so it was a really good time. So in the future, we're going to document another build, I think, on my channel. I'm really excited. We have some plans for 2 more cars, and I think you guys will really get a kick out of it. And I really had a good time, and I hope you guys will enjoy the content. Another thing I wanted to talk about quick, I recently broke 500 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty thrilled with that. It means a lot. Thanks to everybody that subscribes. I don't know if this is ever gonna go to the point where I can make a living off of it, but every little bit counts, and I appreciate the support, and I love sharing knowledge with people. I like being able to help other people out with their builds and that kind of stuff, and it's very I'm very grateful for the amount of support that my father and I, and well, my whole family and I get. So I'm gonna cut it off there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, catch ya.